Hello!
Welcome to our crash course video. Today we're going to give you an insight on how civil liberties and civil rights came to be and why it's so important in our daily lives.
Some key basic knowledge to understand when diving into these topics is that
Civil liberties protect people from unwarranted government interference or action. Civil rights, on the other hand, protect people from discrimination.
Oh, hello. Today we will be talking about civil liberties and why it's so important. Alright, so let's start off with the history. So basically, in the mid-1700s, during the Declaration of Independence from Britain, it was argued that one of the most important roles of the government was to protect our personal rights. When the U.S. Constitution was written, many of our modern civil liberties that we still follow today and incorporate in the government and the Bill of Rights is right here. So, you're probably wondering, why are civil liberties so important? Well, basically, civil liberties are freedoms that are guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. Limitations placed on government, which means not allowing government to interfere with our personal freedom. So, civil liberties are basically the natural rights which are inherent to each person. While they are commonly referred as rights, civil liberties are actually operated as restraints on how the government can treat its citizens. Some examples of civil liberties include freedom of speech, freedom of religion, press, assembly, and right to petition the government. In the following scene, you'll see how civil liberties are being practiced today in modern times.
Beyonce is still not cool in my opinion.
no, it's not cool. It's one more missing assignment that you have right now, young lady.
I said what I said.
Well, you're not allowed to do that. Get out this door right now.
For what? For having my own opinion? That's so stupid.
It's not stupid. This is a school environment. You have to follow the rules.
Okay, and I should be allowed to voice my own opinion and thoughts.
And?
We can still be cordial even if we have disagreements and even if your opinion differs from mine.
Okay, Fifth Amendment rights.
Okay.
Welcome, my brothers and sisters. My name is Rebecca Boatin. Today is a new day, and on this day, I'm giving y'all the 411 on civil rights and why they're important. But what are civil rights? Civil rights refer to the fundamental rights and freedoms granted to individuals by government and are protected by law. They are an expansive and significant set of rights designed to protect individuals from unfair treatment. Some of the civil rights we enjoy include protections from discrimination in voting, businesses, public facilities, and education. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 is a landmark piece of legislation that guaranteed these rights, among many others, to all Americans, regardless of their race, color, religion, national origin, and sex. It composed of 11 titles, with the most notable being Title I, which addresses discriminatory voting tactics, Title III, that addresses equality in the workplace, and Titles III and IV, that prohibit discrimination in schools and public facilities. The 24th Amendment is another example of civil rights, as it reestablishes Title I of the CRA with the requirement that no polling place enact poll taxes. And let's not forget the vital figures of the civil rights movement, like MLK, Bayard Rustin, Rosa Parks, John Lewis, Malcolm X, and so many more, that paved the way for these pieces of legislation to pass. In case some of y'all are confused, let me differentiate the difference between civil liberties and civil rights. Civil liberties protect people from unwarranted government interference or action. Civil rights, on the other hand, protect people from discrimination. As mentioned before, the Bill of Rights is the main document which outlines our civil liberties from the government. This includes the right to free exercise of religion, right to free speech, rights to bear arms, and many others. Both civil liberties and civil rights help citizens get closer to the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness that this country was founded on. I'm Rebecca Boatson, and I hope you enjoyed my segment of civil rights. Stay free.
To freedom!
Wait. Are you registered with us?
Yes. Veronica?
$10, please.
$10. I don't have $10. Y'all take Cash App?
No, we don't take Cash App. You're wearing blue. You have to give us money.
What? That's a violation of my civil rights, okay?
It's not a violation of your civil rights.
Actually, it is by the Civil Rights Act, okay? So, y'all gotta stop discriminating, take my ballot, and get your act right.
Welcome to the Daily News at 9. Civil rights and civil liberties are still upheld today in many of our Supreme Court cases. Civil liberties are placed for the people in the Constitution and are very hard to overturn. One such example of a civil right would be Brocken versus Holland, in which a group of states believed that the Indian Child Welfare Act was unconstitutional as it impeded some type of process in trying to adopt a native kid. However, Holland saw this as a violation because it was taking away children from their parents, children from their tribes, which affected cultural practices. The Supreme Court sided with Holland, and it was still upheld for civil rights. An example of civil liberties would be Mahoney School District versus BL. BL was supposedly spreading negative information outside of campus, but it was her right because she was outside of campus and not in school. Therefore, the Supreme Court decided to be on her side, and the decision was made in her favor. And this caused the First Amendment to be upheld, meaning that it was a continuity after Tinker v. Des Moines became a precedent to many cases. Also, for Brocken versus Holland, racial justice was upheld, and it showed a continuity from Brown v. Board of Education as well. Thank you. And by this concluding segment, we would like to say that civil liberties are rights that protect the people in their constitution, which the government cannot interfere with, while civil rights not specifically listed in the Constitution should also not be interfered with, as they should be protected. The 5 basic freedoms are the freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and petition of the government. The 14th Amendment was violated in the internment of Japanese people during World War II, and in the case Korematsu v. U.S. However, we can see that there's change over time with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which allows for race, sex, and color not to be discriminated against. Civil liberties and rights are constituted today as many social issues arise with freedom of speech. However, conservative issues and traditional social issues can also be looked on in our conservative court today. One example is Mahoney School District BPL, in which freedom of speech was protected. The future is uncertain, but the Constitution will forever be a vow to protect the rights of human beings. For a daily Q&A session, what do you think is the future of civil rights and civil liberties? That's a very good question. Civil liberties and civil rights could evolve into helping more minorities and protect minorities in Supreme Court cases, as the court can use judicial activism to support such. However, this will create a divergence in minorities and the majority. Yeah, this could also be the opposite, because the majority right now in our Supreme Court is conservative, and they are very traditional in their social stances, and because of that, they're striking down a lot of LGBTQ laws, a lot of abortion rights, a lot of immigration laws. So it can go either way. But what we know is that civil liberties will always be protected in the Constitution. Thank you for your question. How was your youth like, Grandma?
You? What do you mean, you? I'm still a youngin'. I turn 20 next week.
Oh, do you have a summer job then?
Summer job? Women can't even vote.
Oh, look, she's voting.
What? You don't even vote?
Well, as you see, voting is a continuing in today until back then, because my grandma clearly doesn't understand this. But it's fine, because women can vote now.
Is she okay? she'll be fine. Grandma's taking good care of her.
Thank you for watching the end of this video. Throughout this whole segment, we can see how civil rights and liberties have moved forward in history and how they have changed over time and also stayed the same over time. And just continues to strive for the better of time as time will always go on. Thank you.
So I keep my boats up the plane to let you know goats all flying away. I'm not in my head like idea, moving these boats like yeah. I got my hand.